Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Threezero MDLX Transformers Jazz. And we'll do a question of the day right away. Which of the original Transformers, or let's say G1, because they've added a ton. Which of the G1 Transformers is your favorite? You can go by character or design or anything you want. For me, I would probably go with Jazz. I like Jazz a whole bunch if I'm not going to pick Optimus. Otherwise, I would just pick Optimus. But Jazz is pretty cool, and this figure's pretty cool. There are two issues that I have with this thing. One that's definitely an issue and one that's more subjective, but otherwise it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. It is a nice package. They do a really good job with their packaging. It's very cool looking. If you want to display in the package, you can do that. Figure right here. Photos that are heavily edited right there, or photo. And then more going all the way around. Very cool packaging. I like it a bunch. Even if you wanted to do this with a more subtle look, you do have the character up here with the Transformer stuff there. Yeah, they're doing good work. So if you've been following my reviews, you know that Threezero has been putting out a lot of really good products at good values, and this MDLX Transformers line is definitely one of those things. And I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out at Big Bad Toy Store. I would recommend it. I don't have any of my other ones. I did sell the, just because I have so much stuff and Transformers take up a lot of space, I sold off all my MDLX stuff in my last sale. And then they like 2 weeks later, they announced that they were reissuing all of it. So I have it all on pre-order again because I want it. It's really cool stuff, and I figure I'll just make the space. I figure that's a sign I need to listen to. So anyway, here's Jazz. I guess I do have probably Sideswipe because he came out after that. Anyway, here's Jazz. He stands just about 15, we'll call it 15.75 centimeters to the top of his head, and that's going to make him about 6 1/4 inches, give or take. Here he is up against Marvel Legends Darwin, so he doesn't have a ton of size to him. He's one of the smaller ones, but boy does he look nice. So let's go ahead and get into the aesthetic on this guy. They did a really good job making this guy look really cool, except for one thing. I think they gave him too much of a shelf on his chest. It's not terrible, of course, but I think maybe a little bit less of this, just a little bit less overhang, like maybe half of that would have been maybe a little bit more pleasing to the eye, because it does get a little bit strange looking at certain angles. But otherwise, he's really good looking. They did a good job with the white and all the stripe work on there. Very, very clean, very nice. A little bit of a wash going around to bring out the details in the white, some panel lining. Yeah, it looks, the Pokeball down here looks really nice. Like, it's a clean looking figure, except mine has some scuffs up here, which is pretty frustrating, but also not super noticeable because of the wash. It's not like the cleanest figure, it's like intentionally dirty looking. So you can see down here, but that's on purpose, so you can call it a clean paint job still. And it is, it's a very, very sharp looking figure. I like that it's glossier on the black parts, less on the white. That's nice, the metallics are in there. His face is pretty cool looking. Yeah, it's a good looking figure for sure. The lights, these guys don't light up. They're relatively inexpensive for as much as you get, so don't expect lights on these guys. The biggest issue I have from the aesthetics standpoint, if you're not going to count the chest shelf, would just be his ankles get kind of gappy, and they do that. Like these, just like Optimus, they gave you these things to try to hide the ankle, but they don't hide it enough. And so it gets gappy down here, but you do get a lot of range. So if you're going to pose him dynamically, it won't matter. But yeah, you can kind of see in there a little bit too much, I think. Not a huge deal. So that's it for the aesthetic issues, really. Like the chest is kind of shelfy and the ankles have a lot of space. But otherwise, it's a really, really good looking figure. I guess I can show you the back because there's still a lot of detail on there. Very, very nicely done. Those stripes are super clean. They made the windshield glossy so it looks like it's an actual windshield, but it is blacked out. So yeah, pretty cool. I think it looks really, really nice. So aesthetically speaking, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I don't think there's a whole lot they could do that's objectively necessary. A few adjustments here and there subjectively, but still a pretty cool looking figure. Now, as far as accessories go, you get a decent spread of hands, including one that allows him to do his handstand, and you'll have to wait till the photos at the end to see if he can actually hold that pose, but I will put a photo in there of him trying, at least. Now, you do get one that is his tow hook that replaces a hand, and that's actually functional, so that's pretty cool. And then lastly, you get his hand cannon, and that's pretty nice as well. It's a little bit basic, but it will get the job done. Now, it's worth mentioning, that's it for his accessories, so I'll just go, I don't know, 7 out of 10. It's nothing special, it's just a decent assortment. these little tabs up here pop off, and he can take the gun from Sideswipe and put it up there on his shoulder as well, if you want to do that. These little white guys right here. And I didn't think to grab my Sideswipe because I forgot that I owned one, but he can put the cannon up there if you want him to. Okay, now as far as articulation goes, this is something that they've done really well for the most part in the Transformers line. They pose pretty darn well. And of course they don't transform, so that's reasonable and expected, so they have to do a good job or it's going to get a lower rating. But first I want to mention the thing that absolutely drives me nuts the most about this figure. His door wing things, they're just connected on little tiny double ball pegs. Which is okay, except you have exceedingly limited range for moving them around before they pop off. So like if you want them to go farther out to the side, not gonna happen. You can try to adjust it a little bit and they just pop off like all the time because it's a little tiny ball, and so there's no range for the thing to move on the ball before it pops off. And yeah, okay, you can pull them back this way a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, and rotate them down this way to kind of fold them back, and it works. Oh gosh, it works well enough, other than they pop off all the time and it's a huge pain in the butt. I can't even get it back on right now. I hate this. These needed to have a hinge up here, or maybe two hinges with a swivel. Oh, can't even get it. There we go. All right. So yeah, you can fold them back like that. They still stick out way too far because there's not enough range of motion. I want them to go a little bit flatter than that because it just looks awkward sticking them out like this. And then sticking them up at the top where you most likely want them is just really, really limited and challenging. And so I hate this. It's the most obnoxious thing. And as you're handling the figure, oh god, they will pop off. Way too much. It's super, super annoying. That needed to be at least a ball hinge. Something. So that sucks. But maybe the rest of the figure makes up for it, and I think it does. Decent enough range for the head. His neck is pretty recessed down into his hood there, but you can rotate the head around. His chin may have to tuck in, but he does move around. It's a double ball peg on the top and a single ball peg at the neck itself. It'll be good enough. The head's not great. Shoulders, on the other hand, we have die-cast double ball pegs into palm joints, which work very nicely, so you can move the arm all the way around very well. That gives you your butterfly and vertical butterfly. And then raising the arm up, it isn't the best situation. You have the double ball peg in there, which lets the whole thing move around, and the shoulder pad does have the hinge. But you can see the way they've designed the shoulder itself, it's like you're not getting it anywhere, and it's kind of goofy looking. So I don't know what they were thinking with that joint. That's not a good design. That's way too complex. I don't know what the deal is with these companies over-designing simple joints lately. Threezero is not super bad about that, but apparently in this case they are. Just make it simple. This didn't need anything more than a normal hinge. Lift that up, let the arm go up higher. Like, it gets to horizontal, so that's fine, but there's no reason it's that limited. If this was connected anywhere but right here, it would work way better. So that is unfortunate. It could be a lot better than it is. You do get your bicep swivel, of course, and you'll have your full rotation. Double jointed elbow does work nicely. They generally pose pretty well, these guys. These pieces right here are on ball pegs, so you can move them around. It's not going to be super useful, but it's good. And then you get some ball pegs in the wrists as well, which work. Now his torso, even though they gave him this giant shelf, does crunch all the way down. So he has a really good ab crunch, even though you can't quite tell what's happening when he does it because he's just all car hood. You do get that. The ab crunch goes all the way down. Doesn't go back very far. You do get side to side. So that's nice. These red jet intakes do move around if you need them to. They're on ball pegs. And of course you get your rotation. Not a ton. You get some rotation up there. I don't think any at the bottom. Do we get any down here? Oh my gosh, I hate these things. I hate these things so much. Yeah, there's no rotation at the bottom, so it's only up here at the torso. So you don't get a ton of rotation. The Gundam skirt pieces are all on ball pegs, so they get out of the way pretty well. This is on a ball peg back here, and then another ball peg on the side. These are on ball pegs. So you can move the legs around, and they work a lot like the shoulders. Big old double ball peg in there, so you will have to kind of fuss with it to get it in the right position if you're really worried about the legs being in the exact same position on both sides, but you do get really nice range out of it. So yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, as far as posable transformers go, these guys are not bad. They are pretty good examples. They could be better in a few spots here and there, but they are relatively inexpensive. Also, considering the paint and sculpt and everything that goes into it, so I'm okay with it. I mean, like, there could be better, for sure. Can we get the knee to work? There we go. And the knee has all the range you could want in a knee. It goes all the way to his back. That is fine by me. Full tight knee bend, and it looks good doing it. Like I said, mostly these guys are really well engineered and well done. As I mentioned before, this piece moves to hide the ankle, but in the ankle you just get a giant double ball peg, so you can move that foot around pretty well. Not as much as you would think, though. It's good, but it's not as good as you would want it to be. It'll do. It is good enough. But for all that gapping, I would expect a little bit more out of the whole situation. And you get a toe hinge that is next to worthless. So, again, they're good, but there is definitely room for improvement. I think that is the best way to describe this line. They are definitely good and worth owning, for sure. The money, I think this guy's $70 if memory serves. So it's like, yeah, it's not cheap, but you're getting a brand new sculpt with loads of paint and detail and mostly functional articulation. So I'm going to give his articulation rating a, I think I'll just stick with 7. It's not bad, but it's certainly not extra good. And we'll leave those there. One thing I didn't mention I do like, and this is purely subjective. I mean, it's like mostly subjective because it is cool design-wise. His joints in the ankles, you're probably not going to be able to see in there, and at the hip, they're gold. And that looks really cool when you get a glimpse of that gold. It looks really nice. Oh god, these pieces that pop off are super annoying. There we go. At least they pop right back on. Okay, so time for the final verdict. Is it the best figure I've ever handled? No, of course not. There's a lot of limitation that it doesn't need to have and a few super annoying issues. Is it still a really good figure? Yes, for sure. I enjoyed a whole bunch, and it looks really good, so find a pose you like, find a few poses you like, and display them and be happy, because it's a cool one. I'm going to give it an overall rating of... I'll go 8 out of 10. You could definitely knock it down to a 7 if these things really drive... Oh my gosh. You could definitely knock it down to a 7 if the popping off... I'm saying 7. I'm knocking it down to a 7 right now, coincidentally. Those things are super annoying. But if you don't care about that, let's say you could do an 8. So that's what we'll do. We'll say 7, but you could go 8 if you don't care about these. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I think it's pretty cool, but definitely has a lot of room for improvement. So there it is. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.